me shooting my dad. And I'm not sure if you even know that story, I've ever heard it, but
Never heard that one. No.
16 years, 17 years old, late 87, early 88, a 17-year-long lumber company with a rich Bagwell family was going broke. So 17 years, I knew nothing but money, Corvettes, motorcycles, things that cranked and rolled for Christmas. Santa Claus came to the Bagwell house incredibly, and he always left things that cranked. And so it was a wonderful, wonderful 17 years. Well, it came to an end in 1988, and it started tearing my family apart. The two brothers were already moved out, and I was the baby, and I was left at the house. And mom and dad were fighting bad about the business. Long story short, I hear my dad and my mom fighting one day, and I go down and break it up. And I've been 2 years in the gym, and I gained 20 pounds or so and got some muscle on me. And I went to break mom and dad up and kind of threw my dad off with some power. And the family I was raised in, it was that kind of pissed him off. And so he went straight for the gun, grabbed the gun, pulls it on me. I'm like, look, Dad, come on, man. At this stage, it had been about 6 months of torture of knowing we're going broke and a lot of fighting. And so I'm like, look, man, put the gun down. You're going to kill one of us and go to prison. It's just ridiculous. The doorbell rings. My mom, he goes, get out there and get the door. And he shoves her by the back of the head. And I go at him, and he pulls the gun back on me, and I'm like.
You didn't actually think he was going to shoot you, did he?
I mean, gun put at me and cocked.
Things can happen, right? Okay,
but
fair enough.
I can remember not being the least bit scared. Like, I remember my first comment was, look, bro, you're just going to fucking shoot one of us. We're going to kill us, and you're going to go to prison. Just put the gun down, It wasn't like, oh, my God, So mom went outside, and then he told me to get the keys out of the cars by gunpoint. So I went outside, and as I'm outside, my mom thinks if she leaves, it'll be a lot better. And it would have been. Me and my dad would have probably worked things out, and it would have been fine. So as she's trying to leave, I couldn't stand to be embarrassed. To this day, my biggest pet peeve is being embarrassed. Still. Yes. And so the cable guy's there. That's who's at the door. And so my mom's trying to get out with her truck, and my dad shoots all 4 tires out of the truck, and then proceeds to pull my mother out of the half rolled down window.
Oh boy!
And I know this has got to be a medically called something. But no drinking, no drugs. I see the cable guys see all of this, and I was so embarrassed and so angry that I went away. I blacked out, or whatever it's called. It's got to be a medical thing that happened to me, because I went away. I went totally away. And when I did go away, I ran past 3 guns on a refrigerator that had been there my whole life. And same house we grew up in the whole time, from 5 to 18, I had the same home. So for 13, 14 years, right by the refrigerator that had guns on it, to his closet, got one of his guns. Come outside, and there's bushes about chest high, and the gun's below the bushes, and my dad's on that side by his car. And I go, hey, you want to pop some caps? That was the saying back in the late 80s, 90s. And he looked at me like, what? And I pulled the gun up, and the next thing that happened seemed like it took 2 minutes. And it was my brain going, boom, shoot the window out, make an impression. Boom, shoot the window out, make an impression, make an impression out of this. Boom, put it on him and kill him. Last 2 shots, I put it on him, hits him in the arm. I don't know where it hit him, but it's something I could tell it hit him. But he goes behind the car. And the Bagwell family, he may have another gun or with a knife or coming to get me. So I'm out of bullets. I run back inside, lock the door. I go get my .45 automatic, put one in it, grab an extra clip, come back down, knock it at the door, look out the eye thing, open the door. It's my mom. My mom goes, you shot your father. I'm like, you crazy bitch. I saved your life. So at this stage now, I go over, grab the phone, call my brother John. He owns a drywall company, Bagwell Drywall. I go, hey, John, you need to get over here. I just shot Dad. You did what? I just get over here. So at that stage, I want to go face my dad now. I want to go tell that motherfucker how mad I am at what he's put us through. So I walked up to him with a 45 automatic, and the last thing I wanted to do was cry. And I walked up to him and I said, you have tortured us for the last 3 fucking months, man. And he goes, just as cool as you could say it. He looked at me and he goes, if you don't mind, I'm bleeding. And I go, motherfucker, I hope you bleed to death where you're standing. And I started crying. I didn't want to. I walked back inside. The Cobb County police come. I guess the guy called them. Well, I'm upstairs listening. And my dad says he shot himself cleaning a gun. And my brothers show up. And one of my brothers cuss. And the Cobb County police said, hey, what's your language? And my brother goes, fuck you, pig. You can't be at our house. We didn't call you. So my dad and my brothers proceed to kick the Cobb County police out of our house because they can't be on our property because we didn't complain. So they got to get off our property. And the cable guy was out there still trying to. So my friends, I didn't know this at the time, but my mother got my friend that was upstairs rocking in a bathtub during all of this. He goes out and talks to the cable guy to go on his way and just let things go. Long story short, I moved out for a couple of weeks, but 10 years, 20, 30 years later, I am best friends with my father.
No, that's great. That's great. And do you guys, do you ever tell this story together to people?
The point at the start of this story was to tell you that got out at WCW, and I had to tell it 50 times.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV.